That's the film so that it doesn't show me the glasses on. But so this is the Platform Sutra. It's one of the less famous sutras. And it tells this story about a young guy. He went to get something at a shop, and while he was there, someone was reading something out loud, and he says, you know, like the guy from Oklahoma, what the hell's that? And so the person said, oh, it's the Heart Sutra. He says, oh, can I get a copy of that? He says, no, but you can go over there and you'll learn what it means. So, you know, he travels and knocks on the door of this big Zen monastery, and he says, hey, I'm here, I want to learn about the Heart Sutra. So the big Zenny who leads the group brings him in, says, where are you from? Where are you from? And he says, I'm from Goatybo, Oklahoma. And he says, people who come from Goatybo are too stupid to learn anything. Now this is my version, but I can tell you it's pretty close. And he says, well, you know, the Dharma, or the teaching, is the same, or Buddha, our Buddha experience, is the same for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're from Goatybo, Oklahoma. And the Grand Zen guy says, okay, you go work grinding bread, the grain. So he's in there grinding grain, and months pass. So finally, the Grand Zen guy decides that it's about time to retire, and he wants to pick a new Grand Zen guy. They call this the lineage. You know, that you have from Buddha, you have this great teacher, and he passes it on to this great teacher, and it passes on and on and on through the centuries, where you can see the enlightenment flowing through the lineage. So it's time that he do that. So he said, we're going to have a contest. So he has a chalkboard out on a wall. And he says, I want you, anybody who has the Dharma, the teaching, the knowledge, write what you see, your perception of life. And if it's the right perception, I'll take my Zen robe off and my staff, and I'll give it to you. So most of the people, there's about 10,000 people according to this in there. Most of the people say, there's no way, that just set up for failure. You know, I'm not going to write something because it's just going to be wrong. But, you know, so-and-so's a close student of his. He'll pick his anyway. So one guy goes up in the middle of the night and he's thinking, if I write something, it's going to be wrong. But if I don't write something, I'm not going to ever get it. I'm going to take the chance. All this is Oklahomaized, but it's pretty damn close, I can tell you. So he writes, the body is like a Bodhi tree. The mind is like a standing mirror. Always try to keep it clean. Don't let it gather any dust. So that's we've been meditating. That's his experience of meditation. It's a mirror to see yourself with. Don't let it gather any dust. So the Grand Zen guy looks at it and says, well, it's very close. And he says, I want everyone, if you repeat this little saying enough, you will see the true knowledge. So everybody's walking around, you know, talking about the Bodhi tree in the mirror, you know, chanting that. And this guy in the grinding room, who's never got out of the grinding room or even seen any of the big meetings, hears him saying it. And he says, what's that? And they said, oh, the second in command came this, and we're supposed to learn it, and it's supposed to give us insight. And so he says, well, where are they writing these things? And they took him to the chalkboard and showed him. So he couldn't read or write, but he got someone to write his on it. Now, I want you to compare what I'm going to say to what that psychologist or brain neurologist said her experience was. Bodhi doesn't have any trees. This mirror doesn't have a stand. Our Buddha nature is pure forever. Where do you get this stuff? So, see, he's way over here. He doesn't see a mirror or a tree. The mind is a Bodhi tree. The body is a mirror stand. The mirror itself is clean. There's no dust in the land. So, big Zen guy grabs him, gives him the mirror, says, everybody's going to kill you. If they find you've got this, because everybody wants this, you better leave. So he packs it off, and he's chased by this army of monks, one of which catches him. He explains the Dharma to him, and the guy bows to him, and he lets him live. So, this is the grand finale, so don't miss it. So, as an Oklahoman, as I look at this story, first thing I think of is, what the hell's wrong with that situation that they have some place where there's one big guy? That guy knows everything, and these guys don't know anything. And everybody is afraid that they'll never get the approval of this guy. Something's not. They may call this Zen, but that doesn't sound like the commercial word, like Zen massage to me. And it certainly doesn't sound like it's over here. Much less people chasing you to kill you for it. So it seems like to me, I can tell you one thing. That system is all screwed up. Okay? So that's pretty clear for me. I read the story. Some people read the story and they go, oh my God, he got the meaning, the enlightenment. Well, the first thing I read the story is, what a screwed up system. I would never want to start a system like that. 2. There were 2 people who had 2 different meditation experiences. One of them is greatly valued. This experience described by the psychologist, where you move from your left side of your brain to your right side of your brain. But there's so many other wonderful meditation experiences out there. I learned TA first, or TM, from a book. They wouldn't tell you anything except go to your happy place and feel warm. So I spent 2 years before I entered the Zen Center going to my happy place and feeling warm. And I can tell you, that's a good deal. That's a really good deal. Now, they wanted to charge $1,200 to get a mantra to say, and I wasn't into the $1,200, but I wrote my own mantra because it was cheaper and it was just for me. So I would repeat that, feel good. And then I went to the Zen Center, and I actually learned how to go here so I can do this. There's people who, instead of doing that, watch thoughts go by. And from that, learn a lot about life and how to see life. There's people who sit there and feel things and look at how they want life to become. Some of those people change their lives and have marvelous experiences. So, what I'm saying today is, let's take a look at the roots of Buddhism. One of the roots of Buddhism is no desires, right? That life is samsara, or another way of saying is life is shit, or life is bad. It's a place of sorrow. And in early Buddhism, there was a thought that you want to free yourself from that, so that when you die, you can step over here into enlightenment. And there was this sort of thought that though when you die, instead of going here, you got pulled back like a rubber band. You were going there, and you were almost there, and boing, back to another life. And what was that life like? Life is shit. Okay? So how do you snap that rubber band? Well, by being over here. So what I see in some of that is dropping a belief system on an experience, making something that's so wonderful and so valuable into a religion versus just appreciating the wonders of it and not being lost in the limitations of someone's belief system. So as I come here today, there's no reason to have a belief system, even if it's like her belief system of how it happens physically. But what we want to do, Ann and I, when starting the group, was one of the founding principles is what your experience is valuable. There's all sorts of wonderful ways to meditate and to live and to see life. And who are we to say one is more valuable than another? The thing we know is that I may gain insight from yours over here. And over here I can see the beauty of your energy, and that energy compounds when I'm with it. So, if I was in the Methodist church, they'd say in the name of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Maybe we say in the name of Buddha, but whatever it is, that's the thought for today, is that each one of us is individual. I can touch you, I know your name. But in another way, if we just step over here and look, there's no human beings. We're all just sensing of energy. And in that way, we're all one. Thank you. Next